Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I am talking about persisting in an idea of something that you want. When it's something that you're kind of really desperate for, it's easier to do this with things like this. And I'm going to give you a kind of an example without going into detail because I can't, because it's involving someone else and I just really can't do that. But when you start seeing the opposite of what you think you are manifesting, the opposite starts happening and you're like, what the hell? Especially when you know that you're on track and you cannot understand what's going wrong with these feelings if this opposite is happening. So something really, really big was happening to one of Harry, my son's friends. And it was completely out of his control. He'd done nothing wrong, basically. And it was horrible. And Harry was so worried about it. And he said, can you manifest it like going away, basically? And I really wanted to. So when we manifest for other people, we're really manifesting for ourselves because we want to experience that person telling us that everything has been resolved. So we are manifesting for us. So try not to think when you're manifesting for somebody else that you're putting it outside of you, because it's still inside of you, because it's really still for you. Everything is for us because it's our reality. So here was the thing. So I thought, okay, so I didn't want this particular thing to happen to him. So I manifested that. So I put myself firmly on the road. No, this is not happening. So any other scenario that were worst case scenario, there was one particular worst case scenario, I pushed to the side in my mind. I felt it and really felt myself force. No, this is not happening. And when I do that, generally, I'm onto a winner because it always works out. But I still doubt and I still fear the worst. So that's what to get your head around this is you will still fear the worst and you will still doubt, but it won't make any difference. That's what I've known. This is what I've learned over years of doing this, and this always happening. So anyway, what happened? Worst case scenario looked as if it was, well, it did in a way unfold. The thing that was on the way to the worst case scenario. So if this thing happened, then the worst case scenario looks likely. So it really threw me because it was quite major. And so what did I do? I could have thought, oh my God, like I haven't managed to do this, or I could have gone down that road and really gone, okay, this is going to happen now. But I thought, no, you can't do that, because look at it this way, whatever, it's not going to help you to do that. So do the opposite. So I thought, no, I'm not having it. But it was still on the way to this thing. And this actual part of it, it's so difficult to say it without talking about it, but I really can't, did happen. But then what happened is the whole thing turned around and was even better sorted than I could have imagined. And I hadn't actually gone that far with it. I had just gone with what I thought my resistance could deal with. So I had kind of gone a bit of an roundabout way, but then the whole thing got resolved and sorted like that. And because of this event that happened that we didn't want to happen. But because of that, it resolved everything. Like I said, it's very difficult when you can't talk about a situation. I would never do that, but I just really wanted to say that it was major and I did not allow myself to go down that track. Okay, the odd time I thought, oh my God, what if? But then I thought, no. And I felt myself forced onto this path of, no, I am not having. So what I would say was the other scenarios, no, I'm not having that. There's no way I'm having that. No, this is what I'm having and that's that. And I really felt it inside. But again, we're human beings, so we will doubt. You don't have to really believe then that it's going to happen. And I didn't. I kind of felt like I've done all that I can do now. I cannot do anymore. And I feel it. I literally feel the power of that. But that's all I feel. I don't still not feel doubt or not feel fear. And so it resolved to the point of perfection, basically, is all I can say. And so it just solidified that in my head that actually, yeah, when you do that, you do feel the momentum behind that and it's got so much power, but you can seemingly go completely off track and think that is the opposite of what I'm manifesting, which this was the actual opposite of what I was manifesting. But then you've got to kind of ignore it, which is quite difficult. It isn't difficult for me now to do that. But again, I will still fear and I will still doubt slightly. Not much these days, but I still do, because that's the natural human condition and we go to the worst case scenario. It's a protective thing, for when we were caveman days and we were always looking over our shoulder, looking for something that was going to eat us, something will hurt us. So it is kind of a natural thing that we do, but you just bring yourself back and you go, no, I'm not having that. This is how I do it. No, I'm not having that. The other scenarios, they're there kind of in my, nope, not having them. And I kind of feel myself pushing them to one side, just forcing myself on the road of what I do want, and forcing myself, no, this is what I'm having, I'm not having this. But it can seemingly go awry. And what you think is the opposite of your manifestation can actually be the start of it. It's the bridge of instancy. You have no idea what's happening. So you have to pull yourself back, because if you then go, which is very easy to think, oh my God, the opposite, and then kind of build the energy of the opposite. So then you go down that road and you start feeling the energy of the opposite. So you get more and more of that shown to you, and you think, well, that's it. How has that happened? It's that case of bringing yourself back to the present and thinking, no, I don't accept this. Now, see, I'm a bit of a contradiction, I know that, because I talk about acceptance a lot. So, but in situations like that, where it's a major situation that's have a real impact on me or somebody else, to completely fuck up your life, basically, I don't really accept I have to be quite honest with that. I don't accept it, but I kind of know it could happen, but I'm not accepting of it as I am with other things, so people, jobs, career, all that sort of stuff, accepting of what is now. I have to be honest and say, in those dire situations, I don't tend to accept the worst case scenario. My mind just won't go there. I kind of can't allow myself to go there, but it works either way. If I could do that, and I did do that, it'd still work. But I find that my mind won't go there, so that's just me. And so let's be completely honest about this. So you might say, well, then you're a massive contradiction, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense. That's the thing. It does not have to make sense. I can do it with acceptance. I can do it through not accepting. I can do it either way. But if there's something you're really desperate for, as in it's going to really impact your life negatively if this happens, then I have found that that's the way that I do it, because that's just the way my body reacts to it, my brain reacts to what's going on, my inner self reacts. That's what I do. So you see the opposite unfolding, but you don't go with it. So you go, okay, fuck, you can say that, oh shit, what's going on here? And you will feel worried, but you bring yourself back and go, no, I'm not having that outcome, is not happening. Okay, this is what I want to happen. And you focus on that. When you don't even focus on it, you just feel that kind of resolution. You feel the resolution that you want, but you don't obsess about it and you don't keep thinking about it. So I must say, in that particular situation, I did not keep thinking about it. I did not keep mulling it over. I did not keep going back to it. I got on with my life, and of course I was, it wasn't my life that was going to be severely impacted. I knew Harry was really concerned about it, so I didn't want that. And the guy in question is such the loveliest guy, honestly. So I did have a lot of empathy for him. So I did have that concern there, but I was still getting on with my life. And when Harry called me to tell me what happened, I was doing something else. I was busy doing something else. I wasn't even thinking about it. And it was like, what? It was brilliant. It was just, oh my God, that's it. Thank God, and it was amazing. And I thought, wow, it did. I would not have seen that. I would not have seen that bridge of incidents working out in that way, even though I was holding steadfast in my, not a belief. I do not call this belief. I do not hold steadfast in any belief. I hold steadfast in a feeling. That's all I do. And then hope for the best. Because that's the best I can do, I know what kind of person I am, and that is the best that I can do. And I did it again, with our court case, which I've spoken about before, which would have seen the end of our company. We wouldn't have gone bankrupt, but we would have lost our company. But then again, with that, I was still getting on with my life in the meantime, but I was having really, worrisome thoughts, but then dragging them, no, not having it, doing that with that. And it all worked out. It kind of could have seemed like it wasn't, even on the day it could have seemed like, kind of felt like it wasn't, but it did in the end. So again, it's that not latching on to what you see as the opposite and going with that energy. So you just don't allow it. You just think, okay, it's there, nothing I can do about it at the moment, but I'm not having it. I'm just not having it, and that's that. Okay, and this is all I can do is tell you about my own experiences, and I don't know how you feel things and what kind of a person you are, what else you've got going on in your life. So I cannot say this is your way. I'm just saying that this is my way. This is the way. I was speaking to somebody yesterday saying it's just like the Jedi Force. That's what it feels like, the Jedi Force, because it is a kind of internal force, and you kind of feel the momentum of it, but you have no belief and no faith really. I mean, I should have the faith, shouldn't I? Because I've done it so many times. So you would think that I would have absolute and total faith that it's going to work every time, but I don't. Because naturally, I just don't. I kind of, it's weird because I always get this feeling of, yeah, you've sorted it, it's going to be okay. So I get that intuitive feeling that it's going to be okay. So part of me does know, but my mind doesn't. I think that's it. And that's what you've got to do, is take your mind out of the equation. It doesn't matter what your mind thinks. Your mind has zilch to do with this, really. Apart from getting you into a good mindset, it has nothing to do with manifesting. It's your subconscious. And when you have that intuitive feeling that something's going to be okay, and I don't always get that, but mostly I get that when I try to evoke it. It might come to me 10 minutes later or even half an hour later, but it will come at some point generally. I don't try so much anymore because I don't want to do something that might not come to me and I think, is it going to happen? So I tend not to do that so much, but generally, sometimes it just comes to me without even trying to pull it to me. So I kind of do know, but my mind goes, yeah, right, because that's what it does. So don't worry about marrying up your mind and your subconscious. It rarely happens. Occasionally it happens with me, but not that often. So please don't worry about that. So that is my take on persistence when you're seeing the opposite, seemingly the opposite, or you're seeming like you're going down the wrong road with manifesting. And if you can do that in all respects, I mean, I don't even try to do that. It was, let's say I'm trying to earn more money, for example. I don't do that with that. I just if I want to make more money, I just feel more money. I just kind of feel money. It's a really strange thing to try and put into words, but I will do another video about this because about the financial thing, because it really has worked for me for years. It's just a feeling of having money, because I say to myself, what have I got to lose? If I feel that it doesn't happen and get more money, well, I haven't lost anything, have I? That's the way to look at this. What do I have to lose by doing this? Nothing. Don't worry about the fact that you might prove to yourself that this isn't real, because you won't. But don't worry about that worry, because you might as well give it a go, hadn't you? What is the harm in giving it a go? So, if this works for you, then awesome. Like I said, it may not work for everyone, because you may be a totally different person to me and have the way you feel with things may be totally different than the way I do. So I can't say that you do this and this will work, because we can never say that. And when I hear people saying that online, I think, yeah, you just need to do this and this will work. I think, no, but you're speaking from your point of view. So you're speaking from your internal state and what goes on with you and what goes on in your head. You're not speaking to an individual. You're speaking to masses of people and expecting everybody to be able to do this in exactly the way that you do it. And that is not the case. But if it works for some, then brilliant. But there's always a way. Everyone's got a way. It's just finding your way. And this is my way. This is the way. You can tell I love Star Wars, can't you? That's the Mandalorian, but it's all Star Wars based. Okay. Right, okay, stop there. Who wants to hear about that? I don't want to go down that road. Okay, I am a writer, so all of my books are listed below, 4 based around the law of attraction. I'll probably just put one of them up here now for you to see. Just as an example, I offer Zoom coaching, email coaching. There's meditations on my website, and there are subliminals on my website. I've tried to pick the ones where I talk to people a lot about certain topics in my coaching, so I've tried to pick the ones that will really help based on the conversations that I've had. Subliminals go straight to your subconscious, so you're cutting out the analytical mind, which is why I absolutely love subliminals. And they're masked. The voice is there, but it's masked with other sounds. Sometimes you can hear a slight murmur, but you shouldn't be able to hear a whole sentence. Meditations are, obviously, you can hear it, because subliminals don't work for everyone. Some people don't like subliminals because they can't get their head around the fact that they can't hear the words, which I completely understand. So there are meditations there too. Because the thing is, if you have resistance with a subliminal and you're thinking, oh my God, it's not working, there's no point in listening to it, it's only any good. So then go to a meditation, because that's just better for you, because you won't have that. You'll think, oh great, I can hear those words, and you'll just feel comforted by that. So go with whatever works for you. If you do order them from my website, you literally just order them, then an account is created, and then you just go in and download them. So I did have something the other day where somebody put a typo in her email address, which happens, If that happens, don't panic, just message me and I will go into the system and change your email on the system, and then you'll be able to log in and download. So it's never a problem. I will always sort you out, so don't worry about that. And that's that. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, then I'd love you to do that too.